That was Grandmaster Satele, wasn't it?
Currently acting as emissary to the Dravos League, nowhere near Tython. We aren't close, of course. Your order is pretty particular on that point.
She gave you up when you were a child, then?
Not that I'm complaining. You Jedi have your rules, and it turns out I don't have your talent anyway. Everything's worked out for the best.
The rules of our order are important, but that doesn't mean they're easy to live by. It's good that you hold no resentment.
There are more important things in life than wallowing in past troubles. More than enough to deal with in the present. Even without the Force, I know when things don't add up. These ops, Colonel Darok, something's being buried here, I'm sure of it. But the real question is, are you going to take your shiny metal and go home like Darok's hoping? Or are you ready to start digging?
If you were to do some digging, where exactly would you start?
I'd start by recruiting someone I could count on. Someone who'd be willing to face down the Emperor himself, if it came to it. Then I'd find out everything I could about Darok and that Sith Lord you talked to. See if there are any connections. And then, once I found something, I'd contact my new friend and we'd get to the bottom of all this. But this is all just speaking hypothetically, of course.
Of course.
Been great chatting with you. We'll have to do it again sometime. See you around. Hey, I just called T3 to have him find you, and he said you were already on the way. That's some impressive timing.
What are you doing here, Theron?
Digging, just like I said I would. Let me show you what I've got so far. Colonel Darok commanded our strike on Korriban, supposedly to gather valuable intelligence data, none of which has been turned over to the SIS. This is the Sith you spoke to on Tython, Darth Arkous, member of the Dark Council, organizer of the attack on the Jedi Temple.
You found a connection between them?
Yes. They've both been paying visits to the same genetics lab in an underwater facility here on Manan. They're headed down there again as we speak.
Is it some kind of medical treatment facility? Experimental research? Something else?
There's no documentation for the lab's purpose, but traffic in and out is mostly freight, not passenger. Probably research, which fits my other findings. With Darok and Arkous working together, the timing of the attacks makes perfect sense. They weren't really attacks at all, they were robberies.
Robberies? What do you mean?
The Imps hauled something out of the Jedi Temple just before you got there. A few security hollows were still working, so I got a shot of it. Darok's top guy, Commander Jensen, grabbed something similar on Korriban. I ran the images through some databases. They were pieces of ancient Rakata technology.
Any technology that the Sith would keep under lock and key must be bad.
Agreed. I'm pretty sure Darok and Arkous have brought their Rakata tech to the lab. You're gonna have to go in and figure out exactly what they're doing with it. There. I've arranged transport to get you in, but security will probably come after you with more than smiles. Don't let them slow you down. While you're searching the lab for Arkous and Darok, I'm gonna meet with one last contact. I think she might have some interesting intel for us.
She?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. Good luck down there. Interesting. I'm seeing records of a prisoner here, someone named Jakarro. I bet he could share some interesting stories with us. Looks like my contact's here. The chief of security is just ahead of you. Watch your step.
Greetings! My master compliments your impressive skill and would like to share his appreciation for this noble rescue.
This is hardly the time for embellished translations. I'm sure your master would agree.
Oh dear. Please let us out of here. We beg you!
Your droid seems to be missing a few pieces.
Those modifications occurred before our imprisonment here. My esteemed Master Jakarro is a specialist in discreet cargo delivery. I am his translator, C2D4, former servant of Revan's Queen Lana of... Yes, well. Jakarro was contracted by a Selkath geneticist, Gorima, to deliver certain medical equipment, perfectly legal, to this facility. But once the delivery was made, payment was never rendered. Instead, we were imprisoned and interrogated by two very unpleasant individuals.
Colonel Darok and Darth Arkous?
We were never introduced. Very rude, to be perfectly honest. After the interrogation, they told Gorima to use us as fodder for some kind of experiments.
The Sith rarely take prisoners. These experiments must be very important to them.
The possibilities are troubling, to say the least.
Your story checks out. Just did a little digging on these two. Charges against them both for smuggling, disorderly conduct, assault.
Even the droid?
Yeah, why do you ask?
Never mind.
Whatever they may have done, my contact has a good feeling about them. Thinks they might come in handy. Let's see if she's right.
All right. We're in this together. Ready?
Thank you!
I've been slicing the facility files, and I keep finding references to the Order of Shasa, some pack of Force-using Selkath. They aren't Jedi or Sith. I'm still not sure how they tie into all of this, but I imagine you're going to run into them. Be careful. I'm registering some tech near you that reads like it's from the Rakata. See if you can't open up the network for me. I'll slice in and take a look.
Greetings. We haven't met in person, but your associate asked me to contact you while he's busy with his scanning equipment. Apparently, he's picking up powerful energy readings from Gorima's laboratory. Readings consistent with Rakata technology. Theron and I agree that this is a dangerous sign. Whatever is going on in that lab, please do your best to stop it.
Are you Gorima?
Hazigas gato volta kapi. Tane es hazigazdak.
You need to stop what you're doing and answer my questions.
As uge feda leg job as uregviko had nerd akisok.
I want to know what Darok and Arkous are planning. What are you doing here?
Voltesak fek ut azo negre. Akon ivolomar. Meg bis hato sadmeg. Seze meles nehes volt felis merni. Ogene kunk. Toleras ege mas fonal es. Mege iteletet. Atenger filenes as edges. Folio semisem. Ugin is it key.
What are you waiting for? Do it! Before he has a chance to betray us again!
You don't have to be like him, Jakarro. You can be better.
Well, that explains the dead guards.
I knew I sensed someone familiar.
I told you to let it go. You did your part. None of this concerns you.
What is this all about, Darok? Why are you doing this?
To save the galaxy.
Gorima, thank you for forwarding the research data along. Our infinite army will serve us well. You can keep the prototypes.
We're working for the good of the entire galaxy. The Republic, the Empire, everyone. We can't let you interfere.
Feel free to die before the facility reaches crush depth. It will probably be more comfortable that way.
Hello again. I'm afraid that all of the emergency pods have been ejected. and all hatches leading back to the facility entrance are sealed. Fortunately, I procured a small watercraft for just this eventuality. The autopilot should have it docked at a hatch near your location shortly. Please hurry. The cyborg champion is after you. I can sense its power from here. It's considerable. Your time is short. Be merciless. That's the way! You've done it. Excellent work. Now let's get you back to the surface. Apologies, but the remote docking procedure isn't quite finished.
You're a Sith.
But not your enemy. Not today. Now, are you interested in a ride back, or would you prefer to swim?
Sith or not, I won't turn down a helping hand.
I do appreciate a pragmatic mind. And there we are. Your transportation is ready. Safe travels.
I just think it might put everyone at ease if you ditch the lightsaber.
Is that really necessary? Surely I'm not as intimidating as you imply.
You can understand our concern, I'm sure.
As I'm sure you can understand mine. I've come to help, and I can hardly do that without my weapon of choice.
Lana Beniko, dedicated Imperial citizen and fully armed Sith Lord.
But you don't need to worry about that.
Arkous manipulated her and her people, same as Darok did to us. She's already shared a lot of good intel. Based on your work in the lab, we know that Arkous and Darok are working together, manipulating both sides for some third party.
They're Revanites, members of the Order of Revan, a secretive cult that's had its claws in the Empire for many years. It seems they've pierced the Republic now as well.
They won't be so secretive once we tell everyone what they've been doing.
All of the physical evidence went down with the lab. How would we convince anyone?
We know the Revanites have highly placed moles in both the Republic and the Empire. That means we have no idea who we can really trust.
Then it's up to us to stop them.
My master, the incomparable Star Captain Jakarro.
Is more interested in action than discussion, and this is his translator, C2D4.
Former interpreter for Her Eminence, Queen Lana of Unteron.
Yeah, we got that earlier. All of it.
I saw your list of known accomplices earlier. Quite impressive. Could any of them help us find where these traitors might be hiding? Superb. Then if Theron agrees...
Go ahead and get the ship prepped. I'll cover our tracks and catch up.
Very well. It's been a pleasure meeting you. May the Force ever serve you.
You'd better travel separately. If the Revanites put a tail on us, they won't know which to follow.
If the Revanites realize their trap didn't work, won't that make things worse?
I think it's better if they do see you. They'll have to alter their plans to compensate, and that's when they'll make mistakes. I better get moving. Watch your back out there. There you are. Our first few interviews with Jakarro's friends went well, believe it or not. We're going to start with some antique smugglers from the exchange, see if the Revanites have gone for any other Rakata tech.
Have you found any traces of Colonel Darok or Darth Arkous?
Not one. Apparently, the Revanites know a thing or two about staying hidden. The Order of Revan. My family has even more pull than I thought.
You're related to Revan?
You never heard that story? Bastila Shan, Revan's great Jedi love? The name made it all the way down to me, even if the Force didn't. Look, Revan was a wild card, and his crazy cult of followers is bound to be the same. Highly trained bravado aside, we're up against some long odds here. You sure you still want to be dragged into all this?
They tried to kill me. I'm not gonna let that slide.
You and Jakarro will make a great team. All right, I'd better get back to Lana and Jakarro before they do anything. I'll get in touch as soon as we get something concrete. Stay safe.